build yourself an army. And boy, let me tell you, did I. And if people think that we're going to stop fighting for our freedom and liberty, they got something coming. Welcome to tonight's show. It's Friday night. We are here on Stand Up, Stand Out America with yours truly, Bianca, Gracia, la Conservadora, Tejana. And I have a special guest tonight. I've got Conservative Cody, who started her podcast on last Sunday. So we want to make sure that everybody that follows us and's been watching us, that you go and tune in to Conservative Cody on Sunday nights, and I believe it's at 6, and she's only on 30 minutes, so she'll be on Getter and all of the, obviously podcasts she's doing. Stand Up, Stand Out with Conservative Cody. We welcome you this Friday evening. We hope everybody is good. There's a lot going on, as you know. Conservative Cody here. I have to get used to calling you Conservative Cody. But Conservative Cody with Latinos for America First, Latinos for Trump for a while. She is a state director here for Texas, but also
the co-state director
for the co-state. Yes, she's co-state director here in Texas, and she has an interesting story and testimony because when she first came to Latinos for Trump, she wanted to get involved, and she was a legal resident. And through our organization, she got sponsored and became a U.S. citizen and was able to vote for Trump for the very first time in 2020. And then she also went on to also make sure that her dad became a U.S. citizen as well, so he could vote. And so she is known for her activism. She not only got involved, she's known as the queen of door knocking. She loves to walk. She's run for office. I just can't say enough about Conservative Cody because she's done so much in the state of Texas and beyond. She's traveled with me to Florida and DC, and we've done, all throughout the state of Texas. And so I think there you are. And so, through the state of Texas, but we welcome you to Stand Up, Stand Out America with Bianca. And so, anyway, just thanks for joining us. I want to talk about a lot of different things. We've got Texas State Convention going on. We have been delegates, and so trained you guys to become delegates, and you like to be part of the process. We like to go vote. We like to get in the fight. We like to go talk about resolutions, testify in front of the committee. So we get very, very involved. Texas State Convention starts this upcoming Monday, and it ends next Saturday. Testimonial, I guess testimonies or I guess any advocacy or anything that you want to do in front of the committee is Monday through Wednesday. Thursday is the actual kickoff of convention, call to order or whatever they call it. And it runs all the way through Saturday. As you know, we've been promoting our event, Run for the Border, on Friday night. So we've got a lot of exciting things coming up and going on. And so Myra, let's just welcome you. I'm going to give you a chance to just kind of say hi to everyone and welcome to Friday night Stand Up, Stand Out America.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Bianca. It's an honor to be here. It's been an honor to be in your organization. It's brought a lot of good things into my life, a lot of positive things that I never thought I could have done. I did them through the support of this great organization, and I have learned a lot. And the only thing I wanted to do was to pay back my country, and I think I'm almost there.
Yeah,
I'm almost there.
I think you're definitely there. You've definitely made a lot of sacrifices. I know that you've made a lot of sacrifices. You work a full-time job. You're a single mom. You take care of your daughter. You make sure she gets to where she needs to be, but yet manage on the weekends to dedicate your time to helping, whether it's been local candidates, statewide candidates, block walking, phone banking, getting involved, even running your own campaign, which you did extremely well for being a first-time candidate. So we really applaud you. You know that that's just the beginning. You have name recognition. You've been able to do a lot in your, backyard, in your territory.
Mhm.
During COVID, you used to go and flag wave off of the bridge and say, hey, we're still here. You would wave your America flag. You'd go out there sometimes, even if you were alone.
Yes, most
And,
of the time alone.
and most of the time alone, and you'd have some every once in a while. You'd have, one or two other people show up with you. The beginning of the movement is you were right at the forefront in a territory that wasn't red or purple or anything. I mean, they'd been blue for 100 years. So to stand out there and stand up for policies and stand up for righteousness and for America and for the Constitution, you did that. And you have come a long way. I mean, you definitely have come a long way. I feel like I've known you since you were a little baby. And now it's like I'm telling all of y'all, you pretty much have over succeeded, in everything, and you guys are your own real bosses. I mean, you guys can go do things.
Well, we have a good mentor in you, and we get a lot of encouragement and support. And you made us understand that we cannot wait for the door to open. We have to go and open the door ourselves. We have to stand up and help those people that are going to represent us the best way. And if that person is not there to represent us, then you know what? Take action, represent, get on the ballot, do something about it. And that's one of the things that I learned throughout this organization. Like I said, the least I wanted to do was to vote, learn about my candidates, and be in the background. You've always said that I'm a background type of person, but sometimes it was hard to stay in the background because I would get so frustrated with things, and I had to push myself to be in the front lines, to try to show them me not being from this country originally, but I mean, I was raised here in conservative values, to stand up for that and show them that if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because like you said, I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time mom, and it's hard sometimes, but I find the time, and you can find the time, if not to at least block walk or run for office, learn about the candidates that you're checking off on the ballot.
Right. Myra, tell everybody your first experience with Latinos when you got invited with Latinos for Trump, and you wanted to be in the background. What did Bianca Gracia do to you?
I was asked to be a part of Latinos for Trump, and I was like, but I'm not even a citizen. It's like, can I do it? They're like, no, yes. And I get the call from Bianca, and she says, well, there's going to be a reporter from CNN, and they want to talk to people that support, President Trump. Is there any Hispanics to support? And I go, okay, but I've never talked like to anybody publicly. And you're like, no, we'll train you. I was like, okay. There was no training. She's like, well, they're calling you. Okay, well, when is my training? Well, when they get there. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I was basically pushed in front of CNN, the not so, friendly conservative media. But we spoke about my support for the president, for the candidate at the time. He was President Trump, and why I supported him. And when I told him that I wasn't a citizen yet, he had to turn back the cameras, because how can a resident support somebody that wants strong borders? And basically, I mean, the people that Trump is talking about, those bad hombres, that's not me. I'm doing good for my country. I'm doing good for the country that gave me the opportunity. So yeah, that was my experience. Not so much in the background.
Yeah, so much for being in the background. I just want to kind of help out. And there you were at CNN. And I do remember, I'm sure people can look up that footage, because it was everywhere. It ended up going viral through all the conservative stations. And the title was, "We found Latinos in the Rio Grande Valley, and they want the border taller, longer." And, they couldn't believe it, that they had found, like, they thought that you all were like little M&Ms hidden, and they do exist. And so that was really, really awesome. That was your training. Yeah. It was on the job training.
It was a weird experience, because I never expected that. And it was something, I don't know if I ever told you, but it was something cute. My nephew had to do a project for school. I think he was in first or kinder, about his favorite famous person. And he decided to put me. And my sister's like, you're not, no, that's not, she's not famous. I go, but she came out on TV. I was like, oh. So I was his
That's
favorite famous
so
person.
cute. That is so
Mhm.
cute. I know that's so cute.
Mhm.
So, that is, I remember when you got involved. And so one of the things for you, Myra, what are your top three policies? I know that you've always said, look, I'm a very constitutional conservative. What are your three policies right now that you're really concerned about right now, especially because you've come this far? You were from legal resident to a citizen to voted for Trump for the first. What is it that drew you to that conservatism? But what is it that right now you're seeing in our country happen and you're very concerned about it? What are your thoughts right now?
Well, being at a border town, of course, that's one of my main concerns: the safety of our borders. We need the strong borders because without borders, we don't have a nation. We have people coming in that haven't been vetted. We have people. Our borders are beyond, capacity. People are walking in. Our border patrol are overworked. Our border patrol are not getting the support and the respect that they deserve and that they need from this administration. So
Oh, we lost her.
also,
We
we
lost.
have. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Sorry. Okay. Also, right now there's a lot of things going on in our schools talking about the gender, about bringing the all this into the children, and as young as pre-K. I have I know a little girl who is in pre-K, and the other day her mother showed me a picture that she drew in school, and the picture was a picture of a butterfly with rainbow wings that said, "I am trans." I am trans is what it said. And this little girl's in pre-K. She doesn't know the difference. And to me, to bring that to children, that is wrong. Our children, our schools think that they are empowered. They're being empowered to raise their children, and that's not the way it is. I mean, if you're 20, you're whatever age, if you want to live your life like that, that is up to you. But do not target the children. Do not groom our children. So a lot of it has to do with our state and who's there, who's allowing it, and who's not standing up. I mean, we see Governor DeSantis doing a lot, standing up for our children and his constituents.
Right.
Another thing is, our constitutional rights. We have people being held as political prisoners right now because they decided to practice their First Amendment right and rally and stand up for something that went horribly wrong in our nation, which was the election integrity. And they spoke up for it. And right now they're sitting in cells, in a prison cell in DC. So that is very important to me because, many of them, and we march alongside many of them in several locations. And I know that they don't belong there. But yet our government is turning into a communist, they want to turn us into the communist agenda where they can hold political prisoners. And that
I know
once they
you've
start
been
doing
very,
that, and
yeah, you've been a strong advocate about that. Feel like our side doesn't stick up for people.
mhm,
And it's not about sticking up. If they've done something wrong, then they should have due process. You have
mhm,
those human rights. And if it was the left, they immediately have lawyers, and I'm talking about at their disposal,
mhm.
they're immediately out on bond,
The funding, yeah,
the funding, they have everything. And so they get to be out and about, with due
mhm.
process. And on our side, we don't get that. You do
No,
one thing and you just get thrown and locked up with no due process. And
mhm.
that's where I think that our conservative end, they're not bold, they don't have a backbone, they're
No,
not bold enough to stand up and say, hey, you know what, we still have a constitution, they're still allowed due process, we still have a criminal justice, system. And, if they're a flight risk or a danger to the community, that's really the two pillars that they use.
Mm-hmm.
If they have jobs, if they've worked for 20 years, they're obviously not a flight risk, and they're obviously not a danger to the community. If they didn't have any previous, felonies or previous criminal record, which a lot of them didn't. A lot of them are military, ex-military. They didn't have criminal records. So you have to look at all of those things to find out if they, will return to court, because that's really the whole basis of getting on. Will they return to court?
Yes.
And so I think that that's where our side has failed, is in advocating for the human rights of people being held because they're political prisoners, or that, given them the due process that everybody else gets. Because right now, as there are cities, I know you're babysitting your granddaughter, but she's fine. I know there's cities, especially here in Texas, that are, what do they say, Soros DAs, right? There are literally people that have committed 2-3 murders, and they let them out with nothing on their personal PR, and then they go commit another murder, and they just keep committing another murder. Well, and it's like, or other crimes.
Well, next week,
how come they get to get out and get due process, and they actually committed murder when these, other people didn't do as much? And so that is what I think, that yes, that we have a problem. And I just want to take the time. I know Maria's on here watching. She says, "Hola, Miss Comadre." Yes, we got Sheena on here. Sheena was like, "Wow, you know about what was drawn, about the little girl that you just mentioned." And I just want to say one last thing. I was right now, the whole gun issue right now, and they want to take away all guns and gun reform, blah blah blah. And I literally had a meeting with pastors today, and my question to them was, where are the pastors and where's the church? Instead of worrying about taking away our guns, the church, faith leaders, whatever, should be advocating that what we need is to put Bibles and prayer back in school. Because, you don't have to teach religion per se, but you need to put some kind of, we used to have prayer in school, whether it was a moment of silence, whether it was just a small prayer, but you have to have a positive environment. And right now there's no positive environment. A lot of kids are getting bullied. They're getting indoctrinated. They're getting taught things that are just not right,
Yes.
So,
and one of the things that we're lacking, and that Governor Abbott took away, was the funding for mental health. And a lot of them, especially after COVID, we have a lot of youth that are suffering from anxiety, from mental issues. And when you take away that funding, that help, I mean, what the left is first going to go after our guns, because that's what they do. But I think that there needs to be more mental health awareness. We need to have that more than anything. It's not a problem with the guns. It's a problem with the people. It's problems in their hearts, in their heads. And that needs to be fixed. Our Constitution doesn't need to be fixed.
No, exactly. And so one of the things that I think that, a lot of these cases is they're children or young adults who either maybe possibly have a broken family, or their parents work 2-3 jobs, so they're never, they don't have that family unity at home or support system at home. Some of them are very, lonely people, lonely kids, don't have friends. They don't know how to make friends, or they've been bullied. They've been bullied at school, and they don't know how. Nobody stands up for them. So it festers and it festers and it festers. And I've seen that a lot in some. I've read that, not every case, but in some cases where they say, "Oh, this little kid was bullied." So we have that issue. So you're right. The mental health, of kids is what we do need to. I mean, that would be something that I agree with. Is we need to be concentrated on those things, and to worry about, let's just take the guns away, but not fix the root of the problem. If it's not a gun, they'll go find a knife.
Yeah, I mean,
Use
we
a
look
rock.
at we look at the UK. They don't have guns, but they have a knife issue. There's knife attacks all the time in the UK. We have Mexico. Mexico guns are they're illegal, but
Illegal. Yeah.
yet people are still getting killed. I mean, you have to go to Chicago. Chicago is also, they have strict gun laws, but there's murders every day, every weekend. The numbers are high.
Yep.
But if you're thinking about taking away our gun rights or
Oh, we lost you.
I'm sorry. It's because my alarm is on, because I've set my alarm so I wouldn't forget this. So it comes on every once in a while. So we just look at Chicago and see that the gun laws do not, or restrictions do not help. It's not the guns. It's a person.
Well,
It's a heart. It's a head.
yes, you bring up a good point. Mexico, their guns are illegal. However, you live close to the border, and we know because we've gone down there, and there is territories down there where you literally can stand in the United States and hear the gunfire all night long.
Yeah.
And it's not like just a small little gun, like pew. It's like hardcore artillery, and you see gun battle. You see the sparks of.
You see the sparks with the guns provided by Obama in the Fast and the Furious, more than likely.
Yes, exactly. And we have witnessed that. We've seen it. We've heard it. But yet they don't. Guns are illegal. So I'm sorry, if the guns are illegal, why are people getting murdered every day? Why are the cartels or the gangs or whatever? Why are they in possession of these? Not just small guns. I mean, they've got military grade guns. They're stealing cars. They revamp them from the inside and they turn them into like a tank. And I've seen it where they have that. And I'm like, hold on a second. How isn't this all illegal?
Yeah.
How can they get away with it? So the guns are not the problem. It is the people. And
It is the people.
The laws already exist. But they don't he's trying to call you.
Sorry.
That's okay. So the guns, are not really the issue. That's the whole thing. And so that's why I was like calling upon faith leaders and saying, where are you? Because you should be advocating that because of gun violence, we need prayer back in school. We need Bibles back in school. We need to teach. What if we offered that and kids wanted to go to a class that teaches about Jesus? You give them a choice. You want to give them a choice to learn how to be, a trans kid. Why can't you teach them if they want to love Jesus instead? But, that's not good enough for them. They don't want that. They want their propaganda, their agenda in the schools. They want to have control of our kids.
Yeah, I was seeing a video just a bit ago that Tommy Robinson posted, and it was a video. It was in your home. It was in your area, Houston, about a father speaking up, saying that his high school son was taken to a field trip to a drag show, and that he was seated next to a pedophile. So to me, it's like, okay, why are the schools feeling this empowerment that they can do this? It's
what
not...
teacher would take the children to that? That teacher needs to be fired and never allowed to be around children again. That's not okay. That's not right. That's not normal. There's nothing normal about it.
And I know that when you are a registered sex offender, a pedophile, you are not allowed to live within certain miles from a school district. So why are the schools taking the children to these dangerous pedophiles? It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, yes, the teachers should be fired. They shouldn't be there. They're endangering the lives of the children.
And we know that the video that went viral with the kids, their parents actually took them to the drag
in Dallas.
Yeah. And so now we're actually seeing that that's actually happening, not just in Dallas. Like we got video of it happening in Phoenix, Arizona. So it obviously you said it's happening here in Houston. It's happening everywhere. And that was what I was telling faith leaders. It's happening everywhere. You think, oh, well, that's just only in Texas. No, it's not. It's everywhere.
Nope.
So that is what we're dealing with, and that is what we're up against.
I mean, we wouldn't take a child. I wouldn't take my son or my daughter to a regular strip club, a heterosexual strip club. Why are we going to take them to a drag stripper? I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's basically the same thing. You're perversing this child. You're grooming this child. You're making this children are, they're barely forming their thoughts, and, we're making it seem that it's okay. It's okay to see a grown up, half naked, and them shaking their things in front of them. It's okay. And it's not. It shouldn't be okay. Because if this child gets sexually assaulted by an adult, it's okay because my mom took me.
Right. Exactly. So I think you're right, and I think a lot of people are agreeing with us. I see the comments here, and they're definitely agreeing with us, and that's, but we need more people to stand up, and stand out. That's why I kind of named our podcast Stand Up, Stand Out America, because it's time. You can no longer sit behind your keyboard. You can no longer sit at home. And even for those of us that have full-time jobs, you still have to make a little bit of time. And I can literally say this with you here because you have full-time job, single mom, take care of your daughter, but you still have been able to go block walk after work during the weekends and knock on 250 doors, and speaking of block walking, because I call you the block walking queen. You were block walking in an area where conservatism or republicanism or in none of that, or nothing Trump, that wasn't, it was frowned upon. It wasn't acceptable. That it's been a Democrat area for 100 years. What was some of the reception? I'm curious, when you would go knock on doors, like
a lot of this last time that I block walked for the last mayor, we would go a lot. We went all across, the I'm coming. Sorry. There she is. We were coming.
She's like, are you coming?
Okay. I'm sorry, Mary. Okay, so we went to different parts of Edinburgh. We went to the gated communities, but we went to a lot of colonias, a lot of the lower communities. And one of the things that I would hear and I would see that a lot of them are Democrats because the GOP does not reach out to these communities. They'll have their events, they'll have, their formal dinners, their speakers, but they do not do the community service out to the communities where it's needed. They do not reach out and educate, look, these are the values we have. This is the way we were brought up. Do you know what you're voting for? Do you know who you're supporting? They don't know any of that. And a lot of these people, in these communities, they have like jobs where they're trying to put the most hours they can. They're trying to feed, they have a lot of kids, the families are big down here in the Valley. So they don't have the time to be researching or looking up a candidate. Some of them don't even own a computer. They don't have that, or they don't have the knowledge on how to, get on it. So they need to have little, community service into their local churches or local pavilions, a park, anything that's close to them where they can go and hear the candidates speak and ask the questions and get to know them. The candidates cannot forget about these communities. Instead, they're too busy fundraising and going after the big money than to go, towards the smaller communities that do a lot of the voting, and they do come out and vote.
Well, you bring up a good point. I haven't seen these videos, but our National Secretary Socorro put them together. I was out in Arizona. You're talking about outreach and going out into the communities. I was out in Arizona outside of Phoenix, I believe. And it's, very Democrat, very blue, just like it was, for you guys. And one of the things that we found was I started this new podcast, and the podcast is called Que Inteligente es mi gente. And I wanted to ask questions about, like, one soft question about what values they had, And then I wanted to ask a question, a civics question, to see what they would answer. And so their soft question about the values that they had were very good. They'd say, integrity or family, right? Which is good. But then when I would ask them, do you know who the party of slavery is? They'd say the Republican Party. Or they'd say, I asked 3 people, do you support the communist agenda? And they would tell me yes. And then they'd say, oh, wait, what was this communist? And then I tell them, well, it's when the government takes away your rights and your liberties, or your freedoms and liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with that agenda? Are you okay with the government controlling you? Do you know that they told me that they were okay with it?
Mm-hmm.
They were okay with it. So I'm going to share, let me see, I'm going to share my screen here. And I want you to see, I haven't even seen them myself, so I don't know what they look like, but hang on a second. Let me see. Here's one. Can you see it right now?
Yes.
Loading?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I see the grid of people, and
Okay.
then the faith and moves.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to load. Let me see here. So I'm trying to load this one. Oops. Okay, hold on. It's not. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can hear this. Well. Oh, it's still downloading. I'm trying to get this to play.
So during this, while you're downloading, during this outreach to these communities that I would do with the mayor, I myself registered over 200 voters. So
wow.
I think it was about 200 voters that we did throughout this month, because we do the registration of voters in different events or whatever, but we never go to these communities that sometimes they don't have the times or the means to get to these events. So I think that is needed.
Right. No, absolutely. Hold on, I think it finally had downloaded. Let me see. Or maybe not. Well, okay, hold on. Let's see here. Did I stop sharing? No. All right, hold on. Let me see here, because I had it up. I really want to see what this looks like. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, here it is. Let me see if I can actually get it to play now. Share the screen. Here it is. All right, let's see if I can get it to play now. Hang on.
Otra vez con Bianca, Gracia, aquí con ¿Quién te lentes, mi gente? Y aquí estoy con Erika. ¿Qué valor es más importante para ti? Pues en este momento el valor para mí es mi familia. Familia, el valor de familia. Amén. Y Erika, otra pregunta. ¿Tú soportas la agenda de comunista?
Oh.
No. ¿Qué partido crees que soporta la agenda de comunista? ¿No sabes? Ok. El partido que soporta la agenda del comunista es el Partido Demócrata. Ok. Es lo que tenía para decirte, Erika. Gracias por participar. Muy amable. Thank you so much. Estamos aquí con Bianca, Gracia, con Qué Inteligente es mi gente.
Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but I got to hear it.
You got to hear it? It didn't.
Yes.
It didn't show it.
No, I think.
Okay.
The screen didn't come up.
It did. Okay, wasn't okay, but you could hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It cut off when she said she did support communism.
The communism.
That she was okay with the government. Yeah, I think it got cut because it was still trying to load. So it wasn't
Mhm.
perfect, but that's what we found. We found that from different people. I was shocked. I was shocked that that our Hispanic community literally was okay if the government to be under government control. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a lot of community outreach and educating on what communism is, and showing them, how people flee, the oppression that it creates.
Well, and maybe they haven't correlated. So we asked her, that girl, we asked her where she was from. She was from Mexico originally. So I wasn't, again, que inteligente es mi gente is not because I want to go and interview them. I'm just trying to ask them the civic questions. So, but I was curious when she said she was from Mexico, and I didn't ask her, but I was curious to say, well, why did you leave Mexico? Right? Why did you come here? Do you understand that Mexico, and so depending on what she would say, obviously she was going to say she either came here for a job or for whatever, right? For betterment of life or something. And if they say that, then they need to know that Mexico is basically socialism, communism. So if Mexico is socialist, which is same thing as communism, why would you want that here?
With sprinkles.
Yeah, with sprinkles. So it was very interesting. I feel like this little Que Inteligente es Mi Gente is going to be a good little show for TikTok because, I want to see what my people know. That's why I want to know. Like,
that's a very cute. I like the name of it.
Que Inteligente es Mi Gente. Yeah. So I'm going to task you to go out. Look, you're like, wait, what? Tell me about this.
I'm in the background, Bianca. I'm a background.
In the background. No, girl, you already ran for office. Like, you're delegate. You've been everything. You've been christened. You can't go back to the back end. No, I'm going to task you to go out one weekend and do that street talk. Out in a supermarket, whatever, and just ask people, hey, I'm Myra. And I want to talk about que inteligente es mi gente, you just do what I do, and ask people the 2 questions and just get those little snippets. Because I'm interested to know what our people know. To be honest, we need to know. And then off camera, we just tell them, we say, hey, actually know the party of slavery is, or hey, slavery, but whatever are little questions. But 2 questions is all. That's all I'm asking, because I'm really just trying to find out what they know.
Sophia and I have decided to go to the flea market every other weekend.
There you go.
That's probably where I can do it.
There you go. You're gonna have to every other weekend. You're gonna have to go. Your daughter's gonna be like, okay, I wanted to come here, but not for you to be all, interviewing people, and I'm very embarrassed. So, but I think that even if you just get 2 people while you're out there, just 2 people, and do 2 interviews just to see the pulse of the people and what they know. And that's it, and you're not there like me. I wasn't there to debate with them. I wasn't there to argue. I wasn't there to do any of that. I wanted to just
to know.
I wanted to see what do our people know. So all the ones that I interviewed, that they were okay with communism. So that was very scary.
It is.
So I knew that we have work to do. We have a lot of work to do. And so, but that's really it. So I know I'm watching the Getter feed, and I know that you have a lot of followers on Getter that, follow you. So, you have a message for your Getter family.
Just keep interacting. Thank you. And Getter is better. I'm really enjoying that platform. I've been booted out of Facebook. I've been booted out of Instagram, Twitter. Twitter won't let me on unless I remove a post that I have on Kyle Rittenhouse, even though he was, found innocent. But the interaction on Getter, and I haven't been banned. I'm enjoying it. I like it. I like it, and
Yeah, I remember
it's
you said I
fun.
told you to sign up for an account, and you're like, I don't want to have to go through another account and build things, and then they get shut down. And
Mm.
I was like, no, 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 Getter is better. Getter is better. And I was like, it's kind of like a combination of not Facebook and Twitter or something. But it's really kind of, I guess,
Mhm.
a little bit more like Twitter, but we've learned to like it. I like Getter. I seem to have
Mhm.
more interaction there within any other platform. So people
Yes.
actually talk back that you have, you like cheerleader each other on about, you make a comment and they're like, yeah, you're like, you get to like, feel the pulse of people. And it seems like Getter's like a little positive community.
Yes, and they have that visions now, which is kind of like
I
TikTok. I
know.
just did one. I did one the other day, and
Did you do
it was
one?
it was a workout one. It was a gym one. So I did that one, and I did one with my Irish cream coffee yesterday. But I'm trying. I'm very shy when it comes to. I take selfies all the time, but when it comes to doing a little video, I'm not on TikTok. I don't do any of that. So I'm kind of like, but it's fun. I'm trying to push
Yeah.
myself to
Oh,
do
no,
that.
the visions are awesome. I was like, what is this? And so I was looking at it and I was like,
Hmm.
this is like TikTok. It's like a little reel. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh. So
And
I
you
was,
can connect videos. You can connect. I
oh
was
wait,
never able to.
I didn't know I could do that.
You can connect. You can like do a video, stop it, and then add another video and add another picture like from different things. I'm gonna try it tomorrow again, like a
No.
workout one.
Okay. See,
I'm gonna
I haven't
try
done that.
it.
I'm gonna start trying it because again, Getter is I love being on Getter. I prefer to be on Getter over anything else.
Hmm.
And it's just grown on me. So now with the visions, now I'm like, oh my God, for sure. So so I didn't know that we had that. I did not know how
Yes.
extravagant, like how great it was. And
Yeah.
I knew
Look at.
they were like, we're gonna have some updates. We're gonna have some updates. This will be fun. But we didn't know what they were. Like at first,
Hmm.
when they first came out, they didn't have a live. And we were all looking for somewhere to go live. Remember? Because they wouldn't go live
Yes, we
in
couldn't
Facebook.
go live
We
anywhere.
couldn't go live in Twitter. And
Mm-mm.
then our YouTube channels were getting taken down, or our podcasts would be taken down from YouTube. And so we were like, this reeks like, so I was like, oh, I really like Getter, but I was like, man, I can't go live. I'm somewhere and I can't go live.
Mm-hmm.
Now then they did the live, and remember we were at AmpFest, so we met the Getter crew, right?
Yes,
And
that's what I wanted to talk about. Uh-huh.
yeah, and, and so I was like, they verified us, and then they put us on that beta test to go live. So
Yeah,
we were
that
using the live.
and that's the best thing about Getter that I really like. I mean, Jason Miller is very active. He interacts a lot with everybody. Kaylin and Bobby. I mean, Ian. They're very approachable, and
Mhm.
you can, they cheer you on, and they're there commenting on your stuff. So it makes it like a little community.
Like a
It's
little
a little
family
wholesome
community.
community.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I feel like
Team
there's
Young, yes, Team Young is
people that
amazing
are like,
there.
hey,
Hmm.
they applaud you for your freedom of speech, not put you down and tear you down, and so they
Yes.
applaud you for your freedom of speech. And even if they may not agree with you, completely, they still applaud you like, oh, wow, okay, they're like, oh, that's
Hmm.
an interesting thought, or, like, yay, or whatever. So I really like that. But now with the visions, girl, we're going to be dangerous. You do know that,
Next
right?
week, oh my God, next week is going to be so much fun going live on Getter with our event. So I'm looking
Yes.
forward to that because I haven't gone live on Getter.
Yeah, I have when I was running for office, me and Maria, I was driving my own RV, and I went live to go, I'm driving my own RV. That's how much work I'm doing. So I was like, just joking around. I don't go live all the time, but
Hmm.
obviously right now, with our podcast, and I know you're going to be doing it on Sunday as well, is going live on Getter with your podcast.
Hmm.
So definitely doing all that. And so remind everybody your show on Sunday night.
Conservative Cody on Sundays here at 6 o'clock p.m. I might be having a co-host. I'm looking into that. It's going to be somebody that we're not always going to agree on, and everything. So it's gonna make it fun. It's gonna make it, where you either like him or like me, which I'm sure you'll like me more than him. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. And so
Mhm.
that's at 6 p.m. on Sunday nights, Conservative Cody in
Yes.
Stand Up, Stand Out America with Conservative Cody. So that's awesome. How can people find you as well?
On Getter under Cody Cag at Cody Cag, CODIKAG, just on
Awesome.
Getter.
And as now, I mean, that's pretty much the only what is it, platform you're on, right?
Yeah, I have a Facebook somewhere out there under a different name, Marisa Nettles, but I have to have it under a different phone, and it got too much carrying two phones, so I'm not active on it. I had my campaign page there also, but I'm pretty much just on Getter. I don't go
Yeah.
anywhere else.
I think
And Snapchat.
I've seen a decrease in traffic or in interactions on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people have finally left Facebook and gone elsewhere, whether it's Gap, whether it is Getter, and even people going to Twitter that didn't like Twitter. So, but there's Clout Hub. I don't really use MeWe. I never really got. I don't know.
I used it, but I used it for like about maybe 2 weeks and never again. It was just like starting to build it up again, and it was no.
I didn't really. It just didn't appeal to me. I think to me right now, my favorite one is Getter.
Yeah, and then we were on Parler, but Parler just went.
Oh, I know Parler. Hey, we were really doing good on Parler. Parler was like, it was interactions and it was everything, but then when it got taken down, it was never the same when it came back up.
I think after Candace took over it was different. It was very, very different.
But it didn't even have anything to do with her taking over or her husband bought it out. But no one ever went to talk on that platform again because people just, once it went dormant and you couldn't get on, people went somewhere else and built a platform somewhere else. So nobody really went back to Parler when it started back up. But it's still there, but I don't use it.
I don't know. I think it's either Getter or go back to MySpace.
I know. Listen, is MySpace even still a thing?
I think I have.
Oh, you went off again.
My alarm is still on. I used it once or twice, but I was never into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I keep drinking my drink. So if people are wondering what I'm drinking, it's my Purium Healthy Choices by Bianca.com. I've been on Purium for over a year now. It is superfood power shakes. It's a really good source of, meal. It's like a meal, basically. It's very healthy. So if anybody, y'all see me drinking my drink here. So this is my meal for the night. It was my dinner. So it's Healthy Choices by Bianca.
I'm going to have to look into something because I can't seem to get back on track.
Yeah, Healthy Choices by Bianca.com. So Ann Vandersteel actually turned me on to it. She's the one that sold it to me, and then she got me involved. And at first it was really tough. It was really tough to try to get on it. And I was like, oh, this tastes so horrible. But now I'm like, my body craves it. So it gets all the nutrients. It's all the vitamins, minerals. I actually will eat better in this shake than any healthy meal you can possibly get because it has everything else compacted in it. So it's really good. Done well. So definitely gives me energy and stuff. So if people are wondering what in the world is she drinking over there, but that's what I'm drinking. So Conservative Cody and I, we do welcome you. If you are anywhere in and near around the Houston area, come to our Run for the Border. You can go to eventpatriot.com to look at our event, your tickets, colors guide. Have a wonderful lineup of speakers. We have Brighton and Gray performing, Isaiah Robin performing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And what else? We got, oh, and then of course, if you're from around Texas and you're coming to the convention, please, we at the America Project are going to have a booth. Stop by, come talk to us. Certainly, get to know all of our team. And it's going to be really, really exciting. So I think that, I'm super excited about Sheena talking because Sheena does a lot of call to action. She's focused on going and testifying and, at legislation or the legislative committees. So that's what she's really good at. And I'm excited for her to do that call of action because I think a lot of people want to get involved, but they don't know how or they don't know where to go. And so she doesn't go and trying to testify and she ends up being alone. She's like, I asked people to come and it's not good when you show up alone because then they think that nobody cares about the issues or the topics. So we need to be a little bit better about doing that, about going and testifying in front of committees and stuff and making sure that we are advocating for, legal immigration, not illegal, closing the borders, against CRT, against transgender modification, all of that. We need to be making sure that our elected officials know how we feel about these issues. And so those are going to be the call to action. And I know you and I have been talking about Latinos for America First starting some workshops. So I know that, I've tasked you with coming up with some workshops and speakers and target areas. And so I think that, I want to focus on a lot of small groups, not big, huge things. I want to focus on, quality, not quantity. I'd rather have a workshop with 10 people, train them, mentor them, get them ready, and know that they're effective than to have a crowd of 100 people that just come in to listen and then they leave and then they don't get activated. So I think
when you have the small groups like that, you're able to see the people that have it in their heart, that have it in them, that want to make a difference, that they're not there because they want the attention to push themselves to, a self, what is it called? What is it called?
Agenda.
Yeah, their self agenda or whatever. But I mean, they're there because they care about their children. They care about the border. They care about their gun rights. That's their passion. It's not just something to push their own, their own name, their own recognition. Because when you do something, when you become a volunteer, and that's what I've always found myself volunteering because I do it because I believe in that candidate or I believe in that topic or that right or, and it comes from the heart. It's not something that I'm just doing, to put your name out there. It has to come within you.
Right. And
that's what I see a lot.
So I think, and even if we identify, even if it's just like 3 moms and one husband, one dad or whatever, even if it's just 4 or 5 people, but as long as we train them, because, look, going out and speaking at these events and everything that's great. You can go give your testimony, speak, but we got to start teaching people, educating them on what political process works. How do you become a delegate? How do you run for office? Where do you go sign up? Why do you need a campaign manager or somebody who's going to be, because remember, you got like the ethics commissions. You always have to be filing your ethics commission reports. There's a lot of things to go into that. And we need to be teaching our people that, that it not to feel overwhelmed, because you and I have both run for office and I never thought I was going to run for office. I know for sure. But you learn you had to learn to fundraise for yourself, get a website. There's so much involved, doing all the grassroots activism and going and showing up to the forums, speaking, the other candidates, attending.
Having a platform. Have a platform. Have a platform.
And that's again, something that we need to teach people. Well, what is a platform? Pick your top 3, top 5 things that you want to concentrate on. Why are you running? You can't just say, I want to come and do something good for the community. That's great, but why are you running? You know, and
Mhm.
like you said, when I asked you your top three, well, these are my top three issues that I am concerned about. And that's what you say, you know. And so when you're running for local office, you and I both know it's a little bit different for local office because it could be public safety, it could be the
Mhm.
sidewalks, it could be the roads,
Infrastructure,
the
yeah,
infrastructure,
quality of life.
the water, whatever it is
Mhm.
that affects the quality of life in your environment, in your, you know, in your community, though, that then your platform's different.
Yes, and you need to know what you're running for. I remember that when I was running for city commissioner, a lot of people were running on, you know, talking about the school, about the education. We have nothing to do with the education. That's a school board. That's a whole different office. The city takes care of the budget of the city, the, like you said, the infrastructure. So know the office that you're running for and what your duty is going to be and what makes you qualified for that. So that's one of the biggest things that I have to thank my mayor, you know, Javier Villalobos, because when I decided to run for office, he taught me what a city commissioner does, and you know what I needed to know, what I needed to create my platform around, and what were going to be my solutions.
Exactly.
So.
And that's so great job, Cody, because, you know, one of the things is that, think about it, what you just said, you know, you eloquently spoke just really in a term where people can understand it, from being a legal resident, never being involved in politics, to becoming a citizen, running for office, and accepting the mentorship that your local elected officials told you. If you're going to run for this office, this is what you concentrate on. This is what you have to do. This is what you don't just come and tell me why you want to be the commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? What are your solutions? You know,
Mm-hmm.
how are you going to represent the people in your community? Um, and I think that those are all very important things. And exactly know what position that you're running for. You know, and you're right. It's like running for school board, where all you deal is with education, but yet you're running and your platform on the school board is talking about fixing the streets and all this stuff that has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know your positions. You got to know what you're running for. You got to know the duties. You know, what are the duties of this
Mm-hmm.
position? What is the expectations? You know, there's a lot to learn. And so I think that that's why I really want to start these little workshops, is to go and take our learning lessons, our experience, you know, what we've learned through this, and go and teach it to people in our community that want to do something, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and encourage people to run for school board, encourage moms, even if it's just the school board for your children. You know, most of our community doesn't know that they can go and speak out. They don't even know that
Yeah.
there's meetings going on. They don't show up. So, you know, you leave these elected officials to make all the decisions for your kids. And there
Mm-hmm.
needs to be a lot more community involvement. We're up on our hour. We thank you all so much for tuning in today. Go follow me at Bianca for Texas on any and all social media. We hope that if you are in the Texas area, that you come out to Houston for the Texas State Convention all next week. We hope to see you there. We hope that if you are in the Houston area next June 17th, next Friday, that you come to our Run to the Border event. It's going to be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We don't have much capacity, so we're already like, you know, a little bit at halfway full. And so next week we anticipate that the tickets will sell out. They're going to sell out. We already know we're going to have a sold out crowd. So that is something that I think, you know, that I'm excited about, to have this event, because it is an educational event. It's not a hoorah. It is an educational event about what's going on, and then bringing some solutions. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm very proud to be part of this organization, because the events that we bring in are events that give you something. They educate you on the the sex trafficking that goes on in the border. It educates you on what Juanita Broadway went through. We've had so many quality speakers at all times. What's Carpe Diem, what he went through creating all those memes for the president. So I'm very proud of the quality of people that we have come to our events.
Yeah,
So don't miss it.
No, don't miss it. Trevor Loudon, who's come to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
from the enemy within. He talks about, the communism agenda,
The Marxist,
Marxism, and they're all educational people. People who teach you something about what's going on. And so yes, our event is going to be very, very exciting. My boss Patrick Byrne is coming in, and he has a documentary that's going to be re-released. It's called The Deep Brig, but he also has the book. So he brought it in English and he brought it in Spanish. It was shipped to me. So believe it or not, we're going to have a book in English and in Spanish on the Deep Brig, and that documentary will be released next July. I'm sorry, this upcoming July, not next July, but this upcoming July, there'll be a re-release of the Deep Brig, and he's very proud of it because, he didn't vote for Trump, but talks about the irregularities and how the deep, it's the Deep Brig. So he's very proud of it. But like I said, you can get the book. He's going to be there. He loves when people ask him to autograph it. He gets all like, "Oh, you want me to autograph it?" So he gets all excited about that. He is a very, I call him the most interesting man in the world because he's very interesting, very intelligent, extremely intelligent. And so, I feel like I learn about it I learned from him. And just his passion about the country, his passion about, our freedoms and our liberties and individualism and our Constitution. So he's really a good patriot. So if you are in the Houston area, you really should come out to our event. Come and meet him. Joe Flynn is coming. I know you had asked me that, Cody.
Yes.
He's going to come in, and I said, no, he's not, but now he is. So I'm super excited that he's going to be here.
The Angel families are going to come and speak about their tragedies, about the permanent family separation that they went through.
Yes.
With the legal crossings.
So yeah, so we are definitely, it's going to be a very jam-packed event, and we're excited to bring it. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It is Friday night. We want to wish you all a very happy weekend. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your family, and we will see you here in Texas. And if not, Bianca is coming to a city or state near you. So, we're doing a tour. So we've got a lot of things going on at the America Project. So please tune in. And anyway, thank you, Cody, for coming on with me tonight on Friday night. And guys,
thank you.
In on Sunday at 6 p.m. Stand Up, Stand Out with America with Conservative Cody, and go and tune into her and her guest and her host and see what she's going to talk about, topics and things. And so her co-host is someone who is not completely like-minded. So it's going to be very interesting. They're going to talk about some tough issues, and let's see how Cody stands her ground on, he persuades her. You think they can change your mind, or do you think that Cody will stand her ground? So it's going to be very interesting. I cannot wait. I thank you so much for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
God bless all of y'all. God bless, the state of Texas. God bless America. And just God bless all of you and your families. So anyway, I always say, La Conservadora Tejana, peace out.